Hi, our next experiment has to do with the epithelial system, or your skin. We are going to be fingerprinting. Now, fingerprints develop when you are still in your mother's stomach at approximately 10 to 15 weeks. No two people have the exact same kind of fingerprints, not even identical twins. Some other interesting facts are that there are three main kinds. We have loops, arches, and whorls. Now, loops account for 60% of all fingerprints. Arches, on the other hand, only 5%, and whorls then would be 35%. And some people have combinations of fingerprints. You could have a mixed fingerprint, one that's partially loop and partially whorl. Anyway, fingerprints have been used for thousands of years for different things. In ancient China, they found that people used their fingerprint instead of a signature. Fingerprints were first used in the United States to solve crimes, though, in the 1800s. And later, a system was developed called the AFIS system, Automatic Fingerprint Identification System, which allowed them to computerize the fingerprints and use them to solve crimes. So that's quite interesting, because today you are going to solve a crime. But first, we're going to learn to take our own fingerprints, just in a fun way that you can do at home. Okay, so you're going to need, for this part of the experiment, a piece of paper and a pencil. You're going to scribble on the paper and make a really dark area, like I'm doing right now, scribbling away. The darker, the better. So you want to get out a pencil and a blank piece of paper, or maybe one that's in the trash would even work. You're going to make something like that. Okay. Now, pencils are made with graphite, and graphite is a fine, dusty material, so it's great for using to find our own fingerprints. And then we have several sheets that come in your box. You're looking for the one with the hand, and we're going to use this sheet with your right hand. So we're going to place our palm down to come up with our fingerprints. We're going to do them one at a time. And so basically what you're going to do is you're going to start with your thumb. And you might get somebody to help you with this part too. But you're going to rub your thumb all over the graphite until it gets really, really covered in it. Like that. Then you're going to get some tape. We did put that in your box as well, just in case there's a tape shortage at home. And you're going to find your tape and pull off a nice piece about maybe an inch long, and you're going to lay the tape on the graphite and going to kind of smooth it over and then slowly pull it off. And on your sheet, you can take it and you can put it in the box that goes with that finger. If you make a mistake, you can just redo it above it. But you can see my fingerprint. Now in your packet, you also have a page that looks like this, which will show you what whorls, arches, and loops look like. We want you to try to identify your own fingers first before you try to solve the crime. Okay, so I used my left hand for this experiment, so you can put that down here. And then on the bottom it says, what is your fingerprint formula? Well, that would be, you would take the first letter for loop, which is L, or W for whorl, or A for arch, and you would list the letters. So it might be like LAWLA, something like that, 5 different letters. Okay, so go ahead and try to find your own fingerprints. You'll need a pencil and a piece of paper and the sheets that came with this packet. Good luck. All right, we hope you had enjoyed finding out your own fingerprints. Now for the next part of our fingerprint investigation, we're going to try to solve a crime. The local bank has been robbed, and there are a number of suspects in this case. But lucky for us, the fingerprints were left on the safe. And so what we're going to do is we're going to lift those fingerprints, and we did, and we're going to put them right here. Now, lifting of fingerprints is a little bit more tricky. What they do is they put a fine dust particle powder onto whatever it is that you're dusting for, and those get lifted with sort of like a tape-like material. And in the same way that you lifted your prints and stuck them, that's what happened here. So now we need to determine what kind each fingerprint is. So we need to look at each of these, try to decide which one it is, and put it up here. So if it's a loop, you're going to put an L here. If it's an arch, you'll put an A here. So you're going to look at those carefully, and then we will introduce the suspects. All right, in the next part of our experiment, we're going to try to introduce 5 suspects in this case that could have committed this crime. We have the bank president, we have the bank vice president, we have the janitor, we have the secretary that works at the bank, and the accountant who's in charge of balancing the books and all of the monies in the bank. So, which one committed this crime? Your task is to look at each of the suspects that we have, find out their fingerprints, and name the types that they have, and then you're going to try to match them to the fingerprints found on the safe. Let's see if you are correct. Okay, so you're going to take your time on this, do a really good job, and use your provided magnifying glass. Look at them carefully, and then see if you can figure out which suspect's fingerprints match those found on the safe. Good luck. Did you find out who did it? In a real crime, we wouldn't tell you an answer. It would be your scientific ability that has gotten you that far, and you would have to try to take somebody to court and convict them based on your evidence. But in our case, we will tell you. There is a little baggie that your fingerprinting papers came in, and there is a sealed envelope that contains the name of the suspect's prints that match the safe. Did you get it right? Go back and look. Good luck.